Greetings and aloha. My name is Justin Hayes. I'm a licensed acupuncturist in both Texas and Hawaii. And the purpose of this video is to introduce you to the website I've created, ChineseNutrition.org, and to show you how it can help you improve your overall health and well-being. So the first thing you may wonder is, where does all this information come from? Check down at the bottom, click on references, and you'll see where the information on this website comes from. I did not come up with this information myself. This comes from thousands of years of Chinese literature. And I picked the best sources based upon cross-references and compiled a database that is now searchable. It's free to use online. It's free to sign up for an account. So that's probably the first thing you'll want to do if you come to the website, is you want to go ahead and log in or create an account. That will require you to verify your email, and you'll be logged in. You'll have access to more features. So let's quickly go through some of the basics of the website. We have the home page, which is your overview. Then we have a learning section. So in the learning section, you can learn some of the basic principles of Chinese nutrition. The underlying theory behind Chinese nutrition is to correct imbalances in the body that may be caused by the 6 excesses, also known as the 6 evils, which are wind, cold, heat, dryness, dampness, and summer heat. Now, of course, there are other factors that contribute to illness, such as diet, accidents, and lifestyle choices, but that is for another day, as they say here. So if we go to the learning section on the website, you can learn about some of the basic categories, including dampness, phlegm, water, wind invasion, heat or fire, fire being an extreme form of heat, qi deficiency, which makes you vulnerable to pathogens, as well as blood deficiency, makes you vulnerable to wind. Yin deficiency can lead to dryness symptoms, which are part of the 6 evils again, and yang deficiency may lead to invasion of coldness symptoms. Essence deficiency, it does happen naturally as you get older, but there are certain things that can happen in life, such as exposure to toxins, poor nutrition, malnutrition, that can create premature essence deficiency. So all of these things can be addressed through Chinese nutrition. So that's the learning section. Now let's move quickly over to the search by diagnosis section. Now this is a really neat feature. Like I said, we have over 1,100 searchable Chinese herbs and foods. According to the principles of Chinese medicine, you can search this database really quickly. So I've treated thousands of people in my clinic. I worked in Maui, I worked in Honolulu, I'm currently here in Texas, and there's no telling where I'll be, hopefully in East Asia soon. But I've worked with all sorts of people, and what I would quickly realize is that I don't have time to sit and write out diet recommendations for every single client. So the way that this website began was, I wanted a quick way to give people the correct diet recommendations. So I created a database. Okay, so let's take, for instance, let's assume that for a second that you already have a Chinese medical practitioner and you already know your diagnosis. Let's say that you have dampness in the spleen. Well, that probably means you would want to warm the spleen a little bit. The spleen is vulnerable to cold, and you would want to resolve dampness, and you would only want to look at the spleen channel. So if we look at foods that are, let's say, neutral or warm, they dry dampness, and they go to the spleen. We've got everything else set up. We're including all the flavors, that's no problem. And then we do want to also include the Chinese herbs, and then click search the database now. Now it says you can't do it because you're signed in with a free account. So that's where you'll have to register your email address in order to get a little access. But once you do register your email, you will have free access to the search engine. So if we go back to search by diagnosis, gonna neutral, warm, foods that go only to the spleen, and dry dampness. We're gonna include Chinese herbs, and it gives us a list of results here. So we've got beans, Chinese herbs, lots of foods that can help with that particular problem. So the goal here at Chinese Nutrition is to get you an overview of what sort of foods you should be eating and what sort of foods you should be avoiding. Now, in addition to the search by diagnosis, we also have browse nutrition section, which is just a compilation of all of the foods and all of the herbs that are available on the website. So particularly if we go to Chinese herbs, there's more than 300 herbs listed, and we have all of the unique properties of the herbs, such as Aiye, it's a mugwort, it's warm, it's bitter, it's pungent. Has a special healing property to disperse cold, dry damp, and stop bleeding. So that's you can just take a look at these, click a little bit more details if you'd like. Some of these have even more information once you click. So mugwort here, also known as Artemisia argi or argi wormwood leaf, helps to warm the meridians. It stops bleeding, including uterine bleeding due to deficient cold. So you can kind of just review on your own time. Now, contraindications, this is what you would want to avoid. So this is where you want to have your Chinese medical diagnosis in place. If you've got heat in the blood, this is not a good choice. Well, why is that? It's because it's warm and it's pungent. The pungent moves, and the warmth is going to move the blood. So we don't want to move the blood if we have heat in the blood. Similarly, with yin deficiency, you don't want to move blood because moving blood depletes the blood. So this is contraindicated in these cases. So it does get a little bit more complicated, but one of the other features of this website is being able to build recipes. So I can go ahead and click add to recipe, and you'll see that we already have a few items in the cart here. And we're beginning to build a recipe here. We're going to go over that in more detail in another video, but you have the ability to analyze the recipe, and it's going to give you a lot of details as far as creating custom, even herbal formulas or recipes, and deciding what you would like to incorporate into your own diet to improve your health. Okay, that's an introduction to the website. There's a lot of features to this website. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me, cs@chinesenutrition.org, and I'll talk to you soon in the next video.